Some people believe in the old adage that money can't buy you happiness. In my observation, that's simply not true. Happiness is defined as subjective contentment, so it does look different for all of us. But there is a universal economic rule with money and happiness, and it has to do with the rule of diminishing marginal utility. The economics of happiness. Who knew that was a thing? Money and happiness work on a pretty predictable bell curve. At the beginning of the bell curve is survival. Humans need food, shelter, and clothing, and the utility of money at this level to bring us happiness is huge. Feed a starving belly, shelter a freezing body, and you're going to be much happier. Next, still steep on the utility curve, is comfort. Once you're warm inside your shelter, it would be really nice to have a bed and a pillow. SpaghettiOs fill up your belly, but steak tastes better. We love comfort. Hot cocoa on a cold night, air conditioning when it's hot and humid, comfortable clothes and shoes to wear. The utility of money to bring happiness at the level of comfort is still very high. This is the perfect spot to do our next segment. Out there in the middle of the pond sunning himself is the 7th alligator we've seen in 2 days. So he looks pretty happy over there. It's a good place to talk about the peak of the bell curve, and that is luxury. So, what goes better with the steak than a really nice bottle of wine? And we don't just want any bed to sleep in anymore. We want the bed that has temperature controls on each side and lifts our head so we don't snore. We do still gain happiness from our money when we reach luxury. A little problem starts to sneak in about here though, because remember the rule is called the diminishing margin of utility. So from nothing to survival, the utility of money to bring happiness is at its greatest. From survival to comfort, it is still pretty good. From comfort to luxury, it does increase, but not as much as we think it does or hope it will. It's a little bit smaller, and the problems start to creep in there. And to answer the question from earlier, what do Americans feel they need in annual income to get to that peak of luxury and the peak of utility for money to buy happiness? That's about $75,000 a year. Now that is for one individual in a home. It goes up a little bit as the household grows, but at that peak of the utility of money to make us happiness is luxury. The question is, what happens on the other side of the bell curve? That's next. Economists call the other side of the bell curve overconsumption. I call it the rat race. That lifestyle inflation that feels like a raging river and we can't get to shore. The overconsumption lifestyle can be a burden. It leads to stress, anxiety, discontentment, loss of purpose, all for keeping up with some unrealistic expectation. And it doesn't mean we have to stop making money at a certain point. We're not going to tip over to the other side of unhappiness just because we make more money than simple luxuries can provide. It's the why behind why we're making extra money and what we're doing with it. So the trick is not to deny ourselves the simple luxuries that actually do make us happier, but not subscribe to a lifestyle of someone else's expectations. In the next video, we're going to talk about ways that we can spend our extra money in ways that have been proven statistically to make us happier. See you there.
Welcome to the Rhino Investor Educational Series. Like and subscribe to charge along with us.